Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 143 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, aka the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. And yes, just to reconfirm, this is episode 143. I did say the prior episode, if you had listened to that, was 143. The B-Man, I miscounted. I only got up to pre-calculus in high school. I'm not a mathematician. This is not a math humor project. This is a smut humor project here at Verbal Graffiti. So yes, this is 143. My apologies for that. I don't know if this is just me. It probably is just me in my demented mind. But anytime I see a plane crash, I instinctively, immediately get jealous that I was not there to witness the crash happen with my own eyes. Now, I don't want to be in the plane while it crashes because I have a deathly fear of heights, but I do want to be on the ground, maybe, I don't know, let's say 100 yards from a plane, while it hits the ground and smolders up in fire and smoke, and all the local news and the national news and SUVs rush to the scene, and everyone's with their cell phone cameras and loading it to TikTok and X. Like, I want to be there. I want to be there. And I am jealous of everybody who gets to be there and watches the destruction and literally the death of humanity. To be, man, I gotta stop saying the term or the word literally. Now, it could be any size jet. It could be a 7. Actually, I'd actually prefer it to be smaller than larger. You don't hear that very often. Hey, now. But the thing is, a 757... falling on the ground right near my mom's house, that would probably kill me also. So I would like to see like a mid-sized plane, a private jet, one of those people who have just a one engine, they fly the plane on the weekend with like the 2-seaters, or maybe a helicopter, some type of flying structure like that. The end of my street, I would like to see that just crash and disintegrate and burn and put a little divot in the ground. And if they die, they die. But I want to witness it. And I get jealous when others get to witness a plane crash and I do not get to see it. Because FOMO, that's what I get. Fear of missing out. Or I guess it's not fear of missing out. It's jealousy of missing out. So JOFO, I have JOFO. Jealousy of missing. No, JOMO. I have jealousy of missing out. Yes, JOMO, that I do not get to see the plane crash. Why do I want to see a plane crash? It's a thrill. It has to be a thrill to watch a plane or a helicopter. They coming out of the sky. And let's set a scene. Let's paint the picture. I'm on a front porch at somebody else's house because I don't have a front porch. So we're on the front porch, and let's say it's happy hour. It's 3:30, 4 p.m., summer, midsummer, July afternoon, a week after 4th of July. We're drinking ice cold Busch Lights. We skipped work. We don't have to work. So we're getting a little sauced. We're debating who's the best quarterback in the NFL because we're bros. That's what we do. And we're drinking and we're chatting and we're having a good time. Maybe there's some buffalo chicken dip and some tortilla chips. And maybe there's some kids running around the yard, my friend's kids. It's a nice summer afternoon. It's 83 degrees, 30% humidity. I'm topless because I don't wear shirts in the summer. So I'm just wearing a pair of running shorts and maybe a baseball cap to protect my bald head. And the skies... it's not a complete blue sky. There's a few clouds, but mostly sunny. And you're enjoying the afternoon. We got the Bluetooth speaker going. We're listening to Block Party. It's a band I love. and we're just there enjoying our summer late afternoon, and then a plane is in the sky, and you see planes in the sky, no big deal, whatever. Plane in the sky, take another sip of your Busch Light, and it just kind of comes lower, right? It keeps coming lower, and then maybe someone nudges the B-man, a friend of mine nudges, hey, check that out. The plane's kind of coming pretty low. Do you usually see the plane that low? No, I don't see it. But again, you never see a plane crash, so you don't think anything of it. You go, maybe. Is there an airport nearby? Whatever. But then 20 seconds later, it's still coming down. And it's not the angle is suspicious. It's not it's a downward angle, and then you start to hear the engine, and once it's you can see the wings, right? You can actually. It's not just a little bird in the sky anymore. You can actually, you can see the size of the plane, if that makes sense. You can, oh wow, this is an actual plane, and you can hear it. And suddenly you put down your Busch Light, and all your friends are you run out into the yard. You forget about your all my friends' kids. You forget about them because they're all terrible parents. So we're all looking up. And then someone's like, holy shit, that's going to crash. And that thrill of, wow, is this actually going to, that sensation in your chest, that's what I want. That's what I want. And then that thrill it stays. And it just, as the plane comes closer to Earth, your sensation in my chest, I imagine, because I've never seen one, but I imagine the sensation, the anxiety, the thrill, all the feelings, the sensation, the shock, it rises as the plane lowers. And then it comes down, and everyone's like, oh, it's going to, oh my, and you start yelling, and someone takes out their phone because that's what you do in 2025 to take a video of it. And then it just comes, and before you know it, boom! It's just an explosion. The plane, the helicopter just turns into a firebomb explosion. And you and your friends are like, holy, what do we call the police? And then you hear the sirens because everyone else in the neighborhood heard it too. And they say, holy, and then you start rushing because you're pretending like you want to go there to save lives, but really you just want to see the destruction. That's what you want. You ain't saving lives in a plane crash. You just want to get closer to the crash so you can see the fire and the smoldering, and you the closer you are, the more you want to be as close as you can get so that you can tell your friends after what you saw. So that's got to be more fun than a roller coaster. Watching a plane hit the ground 100 yards from you. And again, I want to reiterate that I want the crash to happen 100 yards from me, or just a far enough distance where I can feel, I can feel and I can see the crash with my own eyes, and I could get there. I could walk or run to the crash, but where it's far enough away where no debris can hit me and injure me. It's almost a metaphor or symbolic of how I enjoy, or how I would want to live my life. I like to see destruction and drama, but I don't want it to affect me. Does that make sense? I want to see the crash. I want to see life happen, but I don't want any of the sadness or the destruction or the death to weigh down my shoulders. I see a plane crash. That is not tragedy. That is not a tragedy. Now, if I know somebody on the plane or the plane crash kills me, that's a tragedy. Do you tell the difference there? When somebody dies, tragically, it's only tragic to anybody who knows that person. When there's a war or something going down, or there's a car crash and someone dies, it's an event. It's a news event to me. It's not tragic. And maybe that makes me heartless, Maybe that says something about my inner being, my soul, and my lack thereof. But that's just how I view life. If there's a tsunami and 500,000 people die in Indonesia or Japan, like I'm interested. Like I actually enjoy watching the news about the destruction, but that's not tragedy because I don't know any of them. That's life. That's what that is. That's life. Millions of people dying, that's life. When I know one of those millions of people, that's when it morphs from life to tragedy. So yes, that's a long-winded way of saying I get jealous when there's a plane crash and there are spectators on the ground who get to see the crash with their own eyes, and I every time I see a plane in the sky, there is a percentage of me that I hope that goes down nearby. Maybe I'm soulless. Moving on, upward and onward. Hope none of you are flying anytime soon. This one comes from the subreddit. Come bigger loads. So why do you want to increase your volume, pre-cum, libido, etc.? ? What brings you here? ? Personally, I have a very powerful cum fetish, partially because I think my volume is small. I wish so badly that I could blast huge loads like 15 ml on a bad day kind of load, though unrealistically, I'd prefer multiple 30 to 40 ml with no refractory period. I'm here to try to find the best stack combination to take my load capacity to its limit. What about you? Well, what about me? What about the B-Man? I'm right here with you, holding our vigil candle, commiserating with you for our lack of load, of volume with our cum shots. I don't. We've probably spoken about this, but again, that's what I have like 10 topics I can talk about that I'm passionate about, and one of them is the size of my load or lack thereof, because I don't come much. Teardrop, I'm a dribbler, and it's life. And I too, wanting to see a plane crash. I want to see a huge dick loogie come out of Mr. Perfect. I do. I read the forums. I've done all the stuff. I've been on all the Reddit forums and weird corners, sections of the internet. And they tell you, have magnesium, take daily magnesium, exercise daily, eat healthy, eat vegetables, don't come, for a week, just let it build up. I've done it all. I do it all. I keep a healthy diet, not to stay healthy, but to try to increase my load. And none of it has worked. And it's why our lack of semen coming out of our dicks is why I am anti-communist and will never believe in egalitarianism, because life is not fair. There are guys out there Tom Segura, who's a comedian, a very famous comedian, sells out arenas. He's famous, not just for his comedy, but because he just shoots serious loads. Like he will drown his wife, who is also a comedian. They never show it, but they talk about it on their podcast. Like, there are guys out there who come so much, have such volume, such a gooey goo coming out of their dick when they come, that it's a health hazard to the woman, to the babe. Like, you come on a babe's, they come so much. There's so much cum coming out of their dick that it could drown a baby duckling. Like, that's how much semen comes out of some men, like Tom Segura and professional porn stars. And I'm jealous of that. I put in my 10,000 hours of smut, of pornography on the internet. 10,000 plus hours. I am a professional viewer of smut. So I have seen the size of the penis the male actor in the videos. That does not make me jealous. That does not make me feel less of a man. It's the size and the veracity with which they shoot their cum that makes me feel less of a man. And it's not fair, and that's why I'm a capitalist and not an egalitarian, because not every guy's cum size nut is the same. So how can there be equality for all when we don't have equality with our nuts? Makes you think. They should teach that in Poli-Sci 101. But like, how can you, like, you watch some facials on smut videos where you want to stop the film and they go, director, get her a snorkel. She's going to drown. Like, she needs a snorkel because she's just drowned. Like, she's just covered in the semen. And the confidence I would have if I could nut like that, if my dick, like, imagine being, and maybe some of you can't, so it's not an imagination, it's a reality. And if this is you, a tip of my penis to you. And yes, I am jealous of you. But guys who could shoot their dick loogie and they get so much volume with their load that they can dampen both the left and right tit and also have enough left over in between to seal an envelope. All right, are you kidding me? Like, my ego would be insufferable if I had enough to dampen both tits and put some in between. Like, how many times in my life have I had a baby go, oh, come on my tits, and then it's a little drop, like barely, and then she looks down at me, at what I produced, and like, what, and like, no baby's ever told me this. And babes are very good at hiding their emotions sometimes. But baby goes, oh, come on my chest. And then I just put like a little teaspoon, like right above her belly button. He doesn't even reach the chest. And then she looks down and goes like, that's all you get? That's what you think of me? Like, that's gotta bruise her self-confidence. Like, having a man, the B-man, come on your belly and have such a little semen on you where you go, do you not, like, she must think in her head, like, do you not think I'm pretty? I'm not attractive? Like, that's all you produced having sex with me, a babe? And no babe has ever told me this, but it's probably the reason why babes don't stay with me longer than 2 or 3 months, because they see my lack of production with my cum, that I can't be with you, B man. Like, I see how much semen you produce, and that's barely enough to produce a midget, let alone a full-size person. So I cannot marry and produce your offspring. So I try, I wink it fervently. It's a fervent. I've done it all. I've done edging. I try soft. I try hard. I use my offhand. No lube. I watch all different kinds of smut. Once in a blue moon, I'll actually use a vagina or a real mouth. And there's nothing. I wait weeks. You know how no, it's worse than frustrating. It doesn't make, it's disheartening when you keep your semen in you for a week plus. You do the whole semen retention thing. You wait a week, and then you add slowly, nice and soft, and you get it hard. And then when you pop off, you nut, you hawk your dick loogie, and it's still barely more than a dribble. It's like, I literally put a week into this, and that's all that came out of Mr. Perfect. Like, why am I even trying in life? You know, it's like, so for you, a poster, like, I'm right there with you. I'm commiserating with you. And why do I want more semen? I'm an entertainer, right? Like, obviously, as an entertainer, I wanna I want to put on a big production. And to just come a little bit, just a little teaspoon, a little, just, a little teardrop, less than I don't know, a little, like when you they poke your finger for blood and just a little bit of blood comes out and that's how much semen you produce. Like, how can a bee man be an entertainer when I produce such little amount of ejaculation? When it comes to babes and giving babes orgasms, I don't give a fuck about the babes and their orgasm, and their feet and their sensation. I just like seeing the performative act of their orgasm, where they're shaking and just seeing the demons come out of her vagina, and the shaking the legs and the sounds and just like she loses control of her body. Like that, like that's performative. Like I like seeing that, and all I'm able to give her back in return is just it's just like I want more. I want a wow. Like then like I want to be able to have to give a babe like a beach towel instead of a Kleenex. So I'm there. Like I understand your state of mind, and there's nothing to do. You're either popping off major dick loogies, or you barely got nothing. So, I don't know. You're either born with it or you're not, and clearly we're not. Let's go look at some photos. So I was made aware last night that there's such a thing as a AAA bra. Stop. Just stop. We have to stop protecting the feelings of the flat-chested. And what are we doing as society? If you have boobs that are so flat that they're not single, double, but they're AAA, they will never be major league babes, jigglers. They should not be afforded the right to a bra. It reminds me of, I shouldn't be admitting this, but when I was in high school, I was in my junior or my senior year. There was a babe I had in one of my classes. We had desks, and she sat right next to me, a real smart babe, because she would raise her hand a lot. But she was as flat-chested as me, as I am right now. And she would never wear a bra. So sometimes when she would raise her hand, like I would look over and I could see, if she was wearing like a t-shirt, I could see through her shirt and I could see her boob. I could see her nipple. But it never did anything for me. And I never considered that a sexual crime because she had no boobs. It was just a nipple. And she was doing what all flat-chested babes should be doing. And that is, she did not wear a bra, because there was nothing to be held with that bra. So she was behaving accurately, and that's like AAA bras should not exist. If you really care about the environment, like give us back plastic straws, and we'll give you the AAA bras. That is a waste of fabric. It's a waste of energy. Let's make those illegal, do away with those, and give us back the straws. I think that is a fair trade, and the environment would be better off. A AAA bra, like what? I mean, how effeminizing is that? I think I don't really know much about training bras, but I got to imagine a training bra. Like on the rankings, like probably a training bra is higher up than triple bra. They be totally. Actually, I'm not going to go there. That's going to lead to an awkward conversation. But yeah, that's just like I didn't really know there. I knew there were like triple C's and D's and B's, but I thought once you got to A, it was just A or no bra at all. I did not realize that there were multiple letter A ratings on the bra strap. as a guy, as a John who doesn't know much about the babes, when I hear the term AAA, I'm immediately thinking of AAA baseball or AAA service coming to fix your car on the side of the road. I did not AAA bra. I guess that's now something else I need to think about also when I hear the term AAA. So yeah, to all your flat chesties out there, stop trying. Stop trying. If there was such a thing as a AAA pair of underwear for a ball sack or a wiener, like I'm free balling it before I wore something called AAA on my private parts or over my private parts. So this just accept the fact that you're never going to be a full woman. I'm never going to be a full babe. All right, let's keep it moving forward as I upset a lot of you. All right, I do seem to have a lot of vitriol towards flat-chested babes. Obviously, it's not what I'm attracted to, but I do have a weird vendetta against you flat-chested babes. I really shouldn't, and it really is ill-founded, but I do. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. All right, this one comes from the subreddit Airbnb hosts. Guest urinated all over sheets. I recently had guests at my Airbnb that seemed like generally nice family going to a graduation. I saw them in doorbell camera and looked like harmless people. They messaged me that they had a great stay, no issues. When my cleaners went in, one of the beds was completely full of urine soaking through the sheets and mattress protector. Luckily, I had 2 waterproof protectors, so the mattress is fine. I understand accidents happen, but I found it strange that they didn't mention anything and left the bed like that, ? Looking for advice. Would you charge for something like this, or just cut your losses and do as doing business as a host? In the same vein as his AAA broads, stop being a Airbnb host. The moment you had to go to Walmart or Bed Bath & Beyond or Target, wherever you go, when you went out to get a second waterproof cover for your mattress, that is the moment you should have hung up this side gig of being an Airbnb host. I don't care how much money you're making every weekend with your Airbnb. It could be $1,000. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. If you're having to put multiple waterproof covers on your mattresses because your guests are that heinous and that inhumane and that animalistic, like, it's not worth the money. Give up the gig. Find another gig to do. Become Uber Eats. Do something else. It's not, I don't even care if this is your, like, a second house that you don't stay at. Being an Airbnb host is very, like, I'm not a germaphobe, but knowing there are strangers staying at your house, your residence, again, it might be a second home, a vacation home that you hardly ever stay at. But knowing that there are guests there that are just hawking dick loogies all over your master bedroom, pissing in your shower. They go out to the beach. They come back. They get swamp ass all over your sofa and your love seat. And the kids are running around getting all the bedrooms dirty. And there's smudge marks on the toilets. And I don't care that a cleaning service is coming in, so you don't really have to see it with your own eyes. You know it. And if you know it, that's almost as worse as seeing it. And that's why I could never be an Airbnb host, knowing that there are guests doing foul actions are being taken in my master bedroom. $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. There's not a check big enough for me to let that happen every weekend. Because I know myself. I know myself. I'm not an Airbnb guy. I'm a hotel guy. I like walking in the lobby. I like having the key. I like having an ice machine at the end of the hallway. I like the anonymity of a hotel room. I like, and I talking about not being a germaphobe. Like when I go into a hotel room and I'm there by myself, I will masturbate and I will ejaculate on the inside of the curtains because I know the cleaning ladies do not clean the curtains every time. So I get off on that. Like knowing that my dry cum is on the inside of the curtains because they do clean like the bed, the sheets and everything, but the curtains they never get. And I always take my dick and I just kind of run it across the table and I use my dick, Mr. Perfect, as a windshield wiper on the TV. And and I'm peeing in the shower and I don't wash my hands and when I'm in a hotel room, it's not even savage. It's not even Neanderthal. It's something worse than that. I just become I literally become a cheese doodle. Like you know when you have a cheese doodle, you get all that orange stuff on your fingers. Like that's like all my fluids and dead skin cells, I'm leaving all over that hotel room. And I know if you had an Airbnb, it's that times 10. And knowing you have to go back to that house and live there during the week, like how can you fuck? How can you fuck in your master bedroom knowing that there was a guest there the day before, the night before, fucking on that same mattress? I don't care if the cleaning service put on a clean pair of sheets. You're sick in the head. You are sick in the head for being an Airbnb host. What should you do? What should you do? You're not going to give up being an Airbnb host because you're a slave to the money. No, you should. Let's backtrack a little bit. Why did they not? Why did the guests not admit to peeing on the mattress? Well, no shit, Sherlock. Like nobody admits to peeing on a mat, whether it's an Airbnb or you're at your friend's house. Like if you piss on a couch or a bed, you keep your mouth shut and you pray that there's a dog or a toddler in the family that can get blamed on the piss stain wherever you left it. And you deny. What's that? Kanye said that. Deny. If an Airbnb host came to me like, hey B-Man, did you pee on my mattress? No, absolutely not. I don't know what you're talking about. Even if he had security footage, like showing me peeing on the mattress, giving it a golden shower, I'm sorry, host. I have an identical twin. Like I'm going to make that host give me a DNA test before I admit anything. So I'm not surprised that this family did not willingly just come out and tell you that they pissed the bed. So you can't expect him to do that because nobody in their right mind would do that. But now on to you. How do you react to the golden shower that happened on your mattress? No, you don't ask them. You don't upcharge them. You don't write a bad review because if you upcharge them, like they can write a bad review about your Airbnb being a host. So it could actually affect your rating. So what you want to do is get even with these motherfuckers, with these golden shower givers. What you want to do, right? They pissed on your mattress. What you do is you go to your grocery store and you buy yourself a cheap thank you card. And what you do is you turn on the smut, you read some erotic literature, and you get the gooey goo all over the inside of that thank you message, and then you mail it to this family that pissed on your bed. And they'll never know. But you can end this war being happy and just being at ease. That, yeah, you pissed on my mattress, but you had to touch my semen. Now we're even. Moving along, let's continue reading A Salesman's Wife by John Lawrence. We are atop of page, I think 162. No, we are at top of page 161. We will read 2 pages together aloud. The unexpected act took his wife completely by surprise, and she was jerked forward so that her face was crushed brutally against Mavis's open vaginal flesh. Someone was fucking her from behind, and she had no idea who it was, yet she could not turn to see. She was locked in her position. For a moment, she thought it was Garrett or another assistant, but then that intruder thrust his cock so brutally into her that she was forced to abandon her speculation and accept further degradation and continue to see her lurid task. Neither of the Carlsbergs were aware of Alan's sudden participation in their wild melee, for they were so drowned in their own turbulent passions that the sudden jerking forward of Pamela's body was accepted an increase in her excitement. Carlsberg's wife mewed in delight as her husband continued to plunge his mammoth cock into her mouth with increasing savagery. This, combined with Pamela's enthusiastic tonguing, made her seethe with volcanic pleasure. She had often participated in sessions with her husband, sometimes with both her and her husband and her son, sometimes with a patient of her own, but rarely had she experienced such incredible ecstasy as this. Every inch of her body was alive with excitement. Her skin tingled with heat as if singed by 1,000 little tongues of flame. She was wet with perspiration, and the total effect was overwhelming. The statuesque beauty knew she had her husband to thank for introducing her to a life of total sexual freedom. And despite his recent momentarily lapse into madness, her heart swelled with love as she hungrily sucked on the intruding cock. He had set her free, allowed her to experience what few women ever knew in all their lives, a life of total sexual debauchery. It suited her temperament perfectly, and for all the years of their marriage, nearly 21 years, she had hardly known a day that didn't hold a thrilling new adventure, a new patient, a new conquest. Putting all concern about Pamela and her salesman's husband completely out of her mind, she surrendered to her masterful, dominating spouse completely, sucking on his mighty instrument with the force of a vacuum tube. She mewed gratefully as she slavered with her mouth over his hotly pulsing penis. Carlsberg intuitively understood his wife's adoration, and it fully restored his shattered pride. All his life he had craved power and strength, and through his strange therapy, he had found full and complete satisfaction for any and all of his lurid desires. Although he knew there might be serious repercussions now that the Burns woman knew of his son's participation in her therapy sessions, he didn't care, for he felt strong again, powerful as a bull, a demigod, a titan. He redoubled his efforts and drove his prick into his wife's greedy mouth with manic force, grunting and sweating, gripping her head like a vice as she shoved his hips back and forth. Go suck a fat one.